Welcome into the Saints Insider Podcast for Friday, September the 5th. And on this podcast, there's no spitting on each other. I'm Zach Ewing. He's Matthew Parrish, Luke Johnson, and Rod Walker. At least not yet. We haven't gotten to that point.
Yeah, I was like thinking about this as I was driving in today. Who is the most likely one out of us?
Oh, he's not
to
here.
Spit on somebody in a game.
Jeff's off again today.
I want to say it's Matt just for sake of argument, but I know it's probably me out of us four.
But
out of us four, it's probably me, but it's definitely Jeff otherwise.
y'all mean spitting on purpose or like just accidentally?
No, full on Jalen Carter.
Okay.
You disrespected me. I'm gonna spit on
nobody's
you.
doing
You were
that.
the last person I could imagine doing that.
Nobody's doing that up here, man.
Quite an opener to the NFL season last night. If you don't know what we're talking about, well, you might be watching the wrong podcast, but welcome in anyway. And that was the Eagles-Cowboys. Jalen Carter gets ejected before he even plays a snap in 2025. I don't think we'll expect anything like that. Although now did somebody spit? I got something in my eye now.
It's probably me.
I don't think we expect any of that on Sunday at the Dome, but the Saints do open their 2025 season against the Arizona Cardinals. And in a weird way...
Nice transition.
In a weird way, I'm actually looking forward to this more than some season openers just because of the unknown.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Excuse the I still have something in my eye, so you talk while I get this.
Yeah, you're all good. I sorry for making fun of you a second ago. Look, I mean, for the Saints alone, head coach, defensive play caller, quarterback, you've got new players at safety, new player at defensive tackle. I looked over the roster. They have it's 23 new players. I didn't count Brandon when I was doing the research for the Cam Jordan story that posted this morning on NOLA.com. I didn't count Brandon Cooks in that because this is his second turn with the Saints. But 23 new players on the 53. We all have ideas about what we think this particular Saints team is based on what we've seen in training camp, based off of like what our individual projections are for players. But like we truly have no idea. We're going to see really for the first time what it looks like in practice on Sunday against Arizona.
And I think the Cardinals are a good test, right? That's not a game. It's a game that you think is winnable, but they're also good enough to where if they do win, if the Saints do win, it's, oh, wow, they beat Arizona. Like, it's a nice in-between, and it's a good test right off the bat.
Yeah, unlike the Carolina game last year where, they hung, 47 on them, and everybody's like, yeah, but it's the Panthers. I do think if they were to win this game, it would be eye-opening for a lot of people.
And the Saints have done really well in season openers. I mean, they haven't lost one since 2018. So,
Which was the Fitzmagic game, correct?
Yep.
That was
48-40.
We'll get to our predictions at the end of the show, but I don't think any of us would be surprised by anything ranging from like a 10-point Saints win to like I don't want to put a number on it, but a big Saints loss. Like I don't think any of us would be surprised by any of that because we don't know.
Yeah, it's all completely new.
So let's kind of dig into it. First, I want to let you know that Saints Insider is sponsored by Bank Plus. From small business to big business, home loans to bank anywhere technology, Bank Plus is here for New Orleans. New deposit customers can reach out today to learn about incredible rate specials. Learn more at bankplus.net. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Okay, so Saints-Cardinals, it's noon Sunday. It's on CBS, kind of weird. I guess that conference doesn't matter anymore with TV. Saints have a lot of CBS games this year. It's on CBS. I don't think we're getting Nance and Romo for this one. Yeah, it'll be okay. Cardinals are 6.5-point favorites, and the over-under is 43.5. So keep that in mind when we get to our predictions later. First things first, guys, we got to talk some injuries. It's looking pretty good for Alontae Taylor to come back, Matt. It is not looking good for Chase Young to be out there, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, Chase Young didn't practice Thursday. We'll see if he practices later Friday, but if he doesn't...
Yeah, we're recording before practice Friday, just so everyone's aware.
I saw him walking to his car yesterday, and he was holding a walking boot that he probably has to wear at home in the downtime. I had a chance to talk to Chase Young yesterday, and first I asked him how he's feeling. He said, they told me not to talk about that. And then later on, when Nick Underhill and Kat Terrell were there as well, they got more out of him. He said that, like, he said hell no when asked if he was concerned it was a long-term injury. So even if he misses this week, he seemed in good spirits. But it is an absence that I think that's an injury that they're going to feel their absence, and it sets up nicely for Cam Jordan to maybe try and make an impact right away.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like Chase is. I mean, we've all seen him have what we consider to be an excellent training camp, and his absence. We're just kind of assuming he's not going to play. I mean, that's huge. Like, I think there's a big step down between Chase Young and the rest of the edge rushers on this team. Like, Chase looked like he was poised to have a huge season under Brandon Staley. So they're going to feel it, and I think they're going to feel it especially with Kyler Murray running around. I mean, like when you get a 6'5", 270-pound freak athlete out there, that helps like contain some of that stuff. So not a good week for him to miss. If he is going to miss the game, we'll see what happens. But like Matt said, even if there's a big drop between Chase and the rest of them, they've still got Cam Jordan, who's got 15 years of experience. They got Carl Granderson doing the Cam Jordan thing. They got Badil Diggs. They got Chris Rumpf. Who else we got? Yeah. Still like that group, just not as much without Chase.
Yeah, obviously the pass rushing and everything, but also the way he sets the edge against the run, as you mentioned, like that's a big loss to me. Not just Kyler Murray, James Conner's a good running back. Arizona's going to want to run the ball, and I do think they'll miss him.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there was anybody on this defense that you would not want to miss this game, to me, it's Chase Young. So, and it's a calf injury, and to me, those things are, they're kind of dangerous to play with. I mean, you see it, especially in basketball. I mean, you see it all the time. Got the guys dealing with calf injuries, and it turns into something much worse. So he's definitely got to be careful with it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he missed more than one game, and we'll just have to see. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just speculating now. But
I mean, he hasn't officially been ruled out. That would happen this afternoon. But they also signed another defensive end for depth. I mean, and you saw the walking boot. Like all signs point that Chase Young is not going to play. Alontae Taylor, on the other hand, I think that does help quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they've talked so much this offseason about how that star position, which is just basically a nickel cornerback, is so important to Brandon Staley's scheme. And Taylor said that he was way ahead of schedule, which kind of caught my ear. I wonder if, maybe he is way ahead of schedule, but I want to see how he looks. But he says he feels good. He's confident he can go out there. This sounded like an injury, though, that was going to take some time. I asked him if they slow played it because it was the summer, you don't have to rush back for week one necessarily. And he said no, that this was kind of always, it was going to take some time. And so he's been out almost a month, but now he's back. So,
but he has been limited in both practices, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't know for sure on any of this. Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be listed as questionable, I think.
I would imagine so, but that's one of those where a guy's listed as questionable and you're expecting him to play.
Yeah.
He's listed as questionable because there's no probable anymore.
Right. And also coaches love listing guys as questionable.
Right.
I mean, we don't know for sure with Kellen Moore. I mean, obviously this is our first time seeing him handle an injury report, but that would be our guess. And look, if Chase Young isn't going to play, I mean, like Alontae Taylor might be their second best pass rusher. And he's going to be doing that a lot. I mean, like even in the preseason games, we saw them send Ugo Amadi about 25 times on blitzes. I'm just pulling that number out of the air. I don't know what the actual number was, but
Sounds
it
right.
felt like it. And like I think Ugo's a pretty good blitzer. I think Alontae Taylor's like 10 times better than Ugo at that. So that'll be important if Chase Young can't play to have that pressure coming from other places.
On the offensive side, Trevor Penning has been out of practice. He won't play. Dylan Radin's probably the guy there at left guard. Is that what we're anticipating? Mm-hmm. So he'll fill in. Okay. So now we'll begin our breakdown, offense, defense, special teams, and predictions for Saints-Cardinals on Sunday. But first, we'll take a break here on the Saints Insider.
Banking has come to a crossroads. Do you want to bank with an actual bank, with actual people? One that you can walk into? Or drive through, get real help from a real person? Or do you want a bank that lives inside your phone? A digital bank that gives you control of your money anywhere, anytime. Well, why not both? Bank Plus, a partner in your corner, wherever that may be.
Did they ask you to do the commercial too?
Yeah, but they just gave me one line.
Bet like a Caesar. Like, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna tell them how Caesar's Sportsbook is just so easy to use that you can watch and bet thousands of sports events, even some NFL games.
They'll probably show us betting on our favourite players and teams at all the Vegas hotspots too.
Like, we have time for that montage.
I told him I couldn't do it.
They couldn't afford me.
And welcome back to the Saints Insider. Breaking down Saints and Cardinals. Week 1 is here finally. And we've had lots of predictions. We've had lots of talk over training camp. We finally get to play the games. Appreciate you joining us. Subscribe to our channel. That is Saints at NOLA.com, or you can just search Saints Insider on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Appreciate reviews, appreciate thumbs up, all of that kind of stuff. And leave your comments. What do you think? What do you expect to see Sunday? What's your score prediction? And we'd love to hear from all of you. So let's break it down. Saints offense first. Alvin Kamara played one play in the preseason, Rod. He didn't even touch the ball. Are they saving him up? I mean, it feels like, okay, we wanted to evaluate the quarterbacks in the preseason. That's all good, but now it counts, and we're going to run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Alvin's a guy. He knows what he's doing. He's been around, so I don't think you have to see him a lot in preseason. And when you did see him, I mean, he looked good on that one play, I guess. So,
hell of a play fake.
And just listening to Nussmeier yesterday, I think he said something that kind of made it sound to me like, you can expect to see a lot of Kamara in this game. And I know I talked about the Wildcat the other day. I'll bring it up again. And I just think we're going to see him get a lot of carries, and they're going to get the ball to him a lot of different ways.
Over under 20 touches, guys? I mean, going over that?
I mean, I think right around there, right around 20. I do think that they're going to make a concerted effort to not overuse Alvin. So taking advantage of his ability as a pass catcher, and calling run plays that could conceivably not have him getting wiped out by a 330-pound defensive tackle. I think they're going to be a little bit smarter about how they use him, or try to be at least. So I do think we'll see a big, healthy dose of Kendre Miller in this game. But Alvin's going to play a super key role, in my opinion.
I'm going over 20 on him, by the way.
Yeah, counting receptions.
Yeah.
Over 20 touchdowns. That's your new Chase Young.
I mean, Kellen Moore his offense is a West Coast kind of principle, and Jay Gruden, who would always he ran a West Coast system as well, and he would always say that the quick passing game is an extension of the run game, and I feel like that's where you could get Alvin Kamara really involved too. So. I do expect him to get a lot of touches, and I think this Cardinals defense is specifically the type of defense that makes quarterbacks make quick decisions. The way that they disguise, the way that they pull things back at the last minute. You have to process fast, and processing fast often, goes to your third down targets, your running backs. Just quick decisions, get the ball out, and Alvin Kamara is perfect for that.
Devon Vele, 8 catches to get Rod's prediction off to
get
a
it
start
going,
too.
yeah.
Jonathan Gannon, the Arizona head coach, who's not their defensive coordinator, but he obviously is involved on that side of the ball heavily. He was very forthright this week about how much Kellen Moore has sort of kicked his butt over the years in various circumstances. Gannon was the defensive coordinator in Philadelphia when Kellen was the offensive coordinator in Dallas. And Matt, you went back and looked, and Gannon's right. Kellen has gotten the better of him more often than not, and not just the better of him. I'm talking 40-plus points better than him.
Yeah, it was 34 in the first meeting. The Cowboys scored 41 points, but 7 of those were defensive. 51 in the second meeting, and then the third meeting that they won was 41. Now, and then they lost. The one victory that Gannon has was 26-17, but it was without Dak Prescott. It was Cooper Rush that game for the Cowboys. So when he's had a competent quarterback, it's been lights out. Now, the circumstances are a lot different, but something Jonathan Gannon was saying was that just time and time again, Kellen Moore predicted what defense Gannon was going to be in and was right. And that makes it hard as a defensive coordinator to get one over on your opponent, because Kellen Moore knew what he was going to be in.
Yeah, if this team has offensive upside, I think it's Kellen Moore who brings it out. I mean, it's this scheme that maybe in the preseason we didn't get to see anything that wasn't vanilla. Now we're going to get to see some of these play calls, and I think that probably has to do with like making things as easy as possible for Spencer Rattler, especially early in the game. Let him get settled in, get him some easy completions, use the running game. I mean, I think that's what we're going to see, Luke.
I think so too. And that was, I go back to one of my very first stories I wrote in like May, like asking these guys, what is it supposed to look like? And like all the quarterbacks are like, he wants us to play point guard, right? He just wants us to get the ball out, get it into our playmakers' hands, let them go. I mean, it's so different from that Kubiak style offense last year, where it was a lot of window dressing and stuff like that, and a lot of like boots and play actions. But like more often than not, like they were trying to hit a home run over the top. And I don't think we're going to see as much of that this year. They'll still do it because they've got the guys to do it. They've got several players on this team that can beat you deep. But I think more often than not, this offense is going to be predicated on let's hunt explosives in the run game, and with our quarterbacks, we're just going to try to hit these short rhythm throws, get them in a rhythm, and get the offense going.
Where are you at on this offensive line, Rod?
I'm a long way from where I was a month ago. I know that.
In a negative way.
Yeah, in a negative way. I mean, I was really high on them, about a month ago. I thought they were like the strength of this team, and now I'm just unsure just because of how the preseason went, and obviously didn't hurt when Trevor went down. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing if they can hold up or not.
I'm still feeling really good about them.
Why is that?
I just think like they've got talent. I mean, sometimes that stuff takes a while to come together, especially when they rested McCoy a lot in the preseason, especially in the games. He got veteran rest days in camp. There were like periods where he was just not on the field. Like he's like a linchpin for that group. And I did really like the strides Trevor Penning was making before that toe injury. It's not a perfect line this week. Obviously, with we're expecting Penning to be held out of the game, but I still like the talent they have there. I really, really like what Kelvin Banks did as a pass protector in preseason. I really like Tali Fuaga as a player. I think they're going to come together. Maybe not in week one, but I think the Cardinals have some pretty talented players in their defensive front. I mean, Calais Campbell's been in the league forever. Delvin Tomlinson's kind of like their version of Devon Godshaw. They've got Josh Sweat, free agent addition. You got Baron Browning, free agent addition. Like those are pretty good players in the front that they're going to have to kind of have their hands full with. But I do like where they're heading generally, even though I'm with you, they didn't show up as well as you want them to in the preseason.
Yeah, it's an interesting point because as exotic as the Cardinals' defense is with the way that they disguise and whatever, they're not really using that disguise to sound like overloads of pressure. They ranked below average both in quarterback pressure last year, and I think they were around league average in blitzing. Like, it's not the type of Minnesota Vikings defense that Brian Flores would like do all these things at the snap last minute and then like, oh my God, here's 8 guys in your face. Like, it's a lot more measured. But if they are going to play that way and they're not going to send a lot of pressure, you need your front four specifically to wreak havoc, and they changed that front four this offseason with adding Sweat and Browning. So I think it's a really good test for Banks and Fuaga, and that's kind of, to me, where this offensive line starts. As good as Eric McCoy is, and I think he's a calming presence for that group, those two young guys are going to have to hold up over the course of the season. And it was good signs in the preseason, but once the action starts for real and teams are game planning specifically like how to target guys, it'll be a good test.
Yeah, I think this Cardinals defense is going to be. I think they're going to be pretty good, like better than people might think. I mean, you talked about the 2 additions, and then their first 5 draft picks were all guys on defense, including like Will Johnson, who we obviously talked about for the Saints, and Walter Nolan from Ole Miss. But I think they're going to be better. I mean, I think they really invested in that side, and we might see a different Cardinals defense this year.
Did their GM Monty Austin Ford did he make like literally any offensive additions this year? It's like
Yeah,
they
I
have,
don't know,
like,
they just
they
said,
have
like-
like 15 new defensive players.
Yeah, Marvin Harris in year 2 is
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the offense edition.
It's funny, though, you mentioned Banks and Fuaga, and I really think not just this year, but the next several years of the Saints, like, so much depends on those guys. If they're good and you can just plug and play them and they're healthy and they're effective and all of that, that makes everything else so much easier. And not just this year, but you can plug things in and say, we've got our tackles, we're good to go. And this is, you're right, this is Sweat is the headliner, but this Arizona defensive line figures to be much improved. And so, as you mentioned, just from an overall perspective, if the Saints can do it against this defense, it doesn't seem impossible, but it's also a sign. It's not like they're just beating up on a weak sister here. So
Yeah, no, I think Arizona has a chance to be good. I think they have a chance to win the NFC West, and that could have 4 good teams in it this year if Matthew Stafford is like healthy enough to play. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all. So if they can get one over on these guys, I think that'd be a good sign. It would be like, again, not like Week 1 last year.
So a lot of that has to do with their offensive side of the ball too. Let's go there next. When Arizona has the ball, start with Kyler Murray. Mobile quarterback. Like, it's so funny. I think you've mentioned this before, Luke, that the Saints have this new scheme, and their biggest problem for years and years and years has been mobile quarterbacks. And here they are having to face Kyler Murray. He's one of the highest variance quarterbacks in the NFL. There are times he looks like an MVP. There are other times he looks kind of lost out there. I'm super curious to see how the Saints sort of try to defend him.
I mean, this is the unknown, right? It was a problem for years and years and years and years. And look, mobile quarterbacks give everybody problems, right? But just like look at the numbers, and the Saints were just year after year. They give up like 30 plus rushing yards to like 8 quarterbacks on their schedule. It might not sound like a lot, but that's like 2 or 3 first downs every game that the quarterback's picking up.
And also, just to jump in, like an otherwise elite defense in some of those
Right.
years. That was the only way you could beat them.
Right. So I'm really curious to see what it looks like. I think the alignment is maybe going to help them. Like they're going to be, the edge players are going to be aligned really wide. And maybe that'll help kind of pinch everything inside and keep the quarterback contained. They're going to be playing a lot more zone coverage, which I think will help people keep like an eye on where the quarterback is, prevent some of the big scrambles. But it's going to be up to I think Staley might have even said this yesterday. Like it's totally up to the players, right? Like scheme can only do so much to contain. Like they've got to be disciplined in their rush lanes. Like we saw it last night with the Cowboys and the Eagles. Like the Cowboys were not disciplined in their rush lanes, and Jalen Hurts killed them with his legs. Like they've got to be doing the right stuff in order to make this like a thing that we don't have to keep talking about after the Dennis Allen era is over.
Yeah, I mean, I think eyes are key specifically. Like that's something that Chase Young was saying when we did talk to him, was that, as pass rushers in the system, they're often standing up a lot more, and that allows like you to see the quarterback a lot better. So they'll have to be aware of Kyler Murray. The thing that gives me a little bit of pause, and it's related to the run game and just how effective Arizona is overall, it just feels like, even dating back to the Cliff Kingsbury days, especially in the Cliff Kingsbury days, Arizona at the start of the season is always so much better offensively than they finish the season. And, you can make the Call of Duty jokes or whatever with Kyler Murray, but that offense, him in particular, he just plays so much better at the beginning of the season for whatever reason. And here the Saints are playing them at the beginning of the season.
If it's not mobile quarterbacks, the way to beat the Saints in years past has been with a good tight end. Cardinals have that too, Trey McBride. So that's another issue. And we can lean on that stuff because we've been around this team and we've seen it, Rod. But it's also a new scheme, and so I think, maybe that does change things.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know. But tight ends have given this team fit. And we didn't talk about the running back, but I think James Conner's like a really good back that people don't really. I mean, if you ask somebody to name the top backs in the league, his name may not come up early in the conversation, but he's a really good, solid running back. So they're going to have to keep him in check. And obviously the addition of Gottschall probably helps with that. But just getting back to the tight end, they're going to have to be able to contain him. And I know Alontae Taylor kind of talked about that's a challenge he wants to take on as far as checking a tight end. So we'll have to see how that plays out for him.
Yeah, Trey McBride is awesome.
Yeah.
I do think that we'll get a good look right away at like how good these safeties operate together too. Trey McBride. All right, last year, 147 targets for a tight end, 111 reception yards, 1,100 receiving yards, only 2 touchdowns. But look, that guy's awesome. Those are insane numbers for a tight end, and they feature him. That's why I don't think they really tried that hard to get some better receiving options outside of Marvin Harrison Jr. To help him out there, because they have Trey McBride, and they have other good tight ends too who they'll play
13%.
Yeah, they'll play with 3 tight ends on the field. And because McBride is such a threat as a receiver, it's like really changing the numbers for a defense, because they can't just be like, oh, they're in 13, like they're going to try to run the ball down our throats, because they got good receivers at tight end. So I just think that like we're going to see right away how well Justin Reed and Julian Blackmon fit within this defense and play a part in taking away the tight end in the offense. It's not like they're not just going to be solely responsible for him, but like that is going to be a huge part of it.
Because they do like to rely on so many tight ends, and because the Saints have a wider front, I do wonder if there is maybe a little bit of an opportunity for Saints to have a mismatch where defensive end is matched up against a tight end, and could they exploit them that way? I don't know. I feel like Arizona could get around that pretty easily if need be, but it's just something I'm keeping my eye on to see if the Saints are going to generate pressure, how do they do it? And maybe that's one of the ways.
And from a Cardinals perspective too, you guys mentioned Marvin Harrison Jr., who I don't want to say he was a complete bust. He was fine, but he certainly was behind Malik Neighbors, behind Brian Thomas, probably behind Roma Dunze as far as rookie receivers.
Yeah, I mean, everybody was expecting him to be like Randy Moss in year 1, so he was fine, but probably disappointed because everybody's expectations were just way too high.
And they're looking at this as an opportunity, I would think, for him to get off to a good start. Like, look at this young Saints secondary. Maybe he can go feast. I wonder if we're going to see some targets go his way early, too.
Yeah, his rookie year reminded me of the way rookie receivers used to be, where, that wasn't bad, but starting in like 2014 class of receivers was just loaded. And ever since then, it's just been like one great class after the next. And last year's class was great, too. It's just he had kind of a normal year where everyone these days seems like they have, like, oh my God, you're already the number 1 option.
Yeah, 62 catches for 885 yards and 8
that's not
touchdowns.
bad.
But he had like 2 huge games. I want to say he had over 300 yards in 2 games. I mean, combined, like
Right.
a 150 and a 175 or something. And then every other week he was just a dude. He was just a guy. And they want him to be more than that. So that's when the Cardinals have the ball. Quick note on special teams. It's funny, we kind of stopped talking about the punting. Like, Kai Kroger won the job, and we said maybe they'll bring in somebody else. They never did, so I guess it's Kai Kroger's job.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely will be in week 1. Kai Kroger versus Blake Gillikin.
Blake Gillikin, yes. For a Saint on Saint. There's a lot of those Saint special teamers running around in the league. And then my other question here is about the return game. Like, I guess we just assume Rashid Shaheed is going to play a big role in this return game, and they're just going to throw a little caution to the wind on that.
Yeah, I actually asked Phil Galliano about that yesterday, their special teams coordinator. And it's just like weighing when to use him. He's got such an important role on offense. Like, can you take away from that on special teams? Do you worry about injuries? And Galliano was one to say that he doesn't subscribe to the injury risk thing on like as a return man. He's like, if you're a football player, like, go play football. And yeah,
that's because Phil Galliano wants to use him.
I can see, but I can see that point to an extent though. Like I do agree that, like, if you're just worried about putting your guys in bubble wrap, then like you're gonna lose out on opportunities for really special players to swing a game for you. So I hate to sound like Ivan Drago, but if he's gonna get hurt, he's gonna get hurt. Like I just think use the special guy in a special way, but do it smartly. So like they're like maybe we won't use him very much on kick returns. We've got Velus Jones and Kendre Miller who feel pretty good about those guys. Maybe he doesn't have to be back there for every single punt, but like he will be a factor in the return game this year. That much was made clear yesterday.
I'm glad you didn't use the real Drago quote. The paraphrase was good there. I don't know. You mentioned Velus Jones, Matt. Like I also think we could see some of him in that realm.
Yeah, I stumbled across the Bears Reddit page of when Velus Jones made this. There was a post about how Jones made the Saints 53-man roster, and all the Bears comments were like, they'll enjoy him until he fumbles the kickoff. Like, in Chicago, that was a huge problem for him, was botching kick returns, muffing punts, and I think it's an area to watch, but his speed is so tempting that I don't blame the Saints for trying to use him there, and he's a good special teams player. I understand Bears fans being upset about that, but I see why the Saints are trusting him.
The Saints fumbled the open kickoff
2
in the
years
season
ago?
of
Last
2 years
year.
ago.
Yeah, last year,
2
yeah.
years ago. Was it 2 years
Oh,
ago?
it was 2 years
2
ago.
years
You're
ago
right.
against Tennessee.
You're right.
It was
Yeah,
Rashid,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
So we don't
would be-
need that again.
Yeah, and they won the game still. It was
Yeah.
inauspicious start. Okay, we're going to go into keys to the game. Number one is don't fumble the opening kickoff. What else you got, Rod? Keys to a victory for the Saints on Sunday.
We don't need Alvin Kamara spitting on anybody.
That's true.
No, to me, the keys are just going to be, I think getting Spencer Rattler going kind of early and just letting him settle in and not, he needs to get off to a good start and he needs to kind of keep it simple, which kind of starts with the running game. I think if Alvin can kind of keep this team out of third and long, I think that bodes well for him. I think the defense can maybe hold up. We'll see. But, for me, I think it's just going to be get the run game kind of going.
All right. Luke?
Even without Chase Young, we're assuming. I still feel pretty good about where this defense is. I really, really like Brandon Staley. I like some of the additions they've made. I think they'll be a better running unit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think they'll be able to keep the scoring pretty low from Carolina's standpoint. So
Arizona.
Sorry, I keep referencing last year's game. From Arizona's standpoint. So my key is I think the Saints offense needs to connect on a couple explosives because I'm having a hard time seeing them just string together a bunch of long drives. And even in the preseason, even in that watered down environment, like we saw them like put together a bunch of drives and they like just were leaning on Groupie and Charlie Smith to knock home 50-yard field goals. Like I think sustaining those long ones are going to be a problem for him. So like they're going to need a big shot to Rashid Shaheed. They're going to need Alvin or Kendre Miller to rip off a long run, or Jawan to come free in the seam and pick up 30, 35 yards, something like that. Like that's going to be a necessity in this game if they're going to win it.
Yeah, for me, I think goes back to what Rod was talking about, and it's Spencer Rattler's decisiveness. Like that's how he won the job this summer. He showed improvement in that area. And the preseason, there were drives that stalled out, and that he wasn't always quick to get out the ball. But I just think Arizona is the type of defense specifically that forces your quarterback to kind of make quick decisions. It gives him a complicated picture, and you just have to be fast to process that sort of stuff. And Spencer Rattler, I think, did a good job with that during the summer, and now it's on him to translate it to the game. So it's just how Spencer Rattler reacts to the Cardinals defense is my key.
Speaking of Spencer Rattler, you should go read Rod Walker's story on Spencer Rattler and the path he took to the starting job. You did a really nice job with that, Rod.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because it's a good time to plug a lot of stuff we have up on the website right now. Rod did the deep dive on Spencer and his background. That's up on NOLA.com/Saints. Luke, you did Cam Jordan's career with a cool angle from the perspective of how many teammates he's had here in New Orleans. And on Sunday, that number goes up to 450. Is that right?
If all their new guys suit up,
Okay.
all the new guys on their 53. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's well over 400 teammates in his career, and you asked him to name as many as he could on the defensive line. It was amazing how many he could. So go read that story as well. And then Matt, you did Kellen Moore. Like we've written a lot about Kellen Moore this offseason, but this was another cool angle where it's not just Kellen, but like the expectations put on him by the city of New Orleans and how he just kind of needs to ignore that.
Yeah. I mean, he's been even dating back to when he worked in Dallas, because Sean Payton also worked there. This guy has been constantly compared to Sean Payton, and I dug a little further on whether the Saints were looking for the next Sean Payton. I talked with Mickey Loomis, and if you'd like to know kind of why the Saints hired Moore and their thought process on it, go read that story. They're both really good on it.
Yeah, lots of good stuff, as well as our normal, 4 keys to the game and predictions and all that good stuff.
Yeah, Jeff has
too.
a nice season preview column.
And Jeff will also have a column. Jonathan Gannon has connections with the Saints coaching staff as well, so that'll be coming out this weekend. So read all that stuff. We're going to get into our predictions real quick. My key to the game is a little bit obvious, but while you guys were talking about Rattler, I believe he's had 9 turnovers in 6 career games.
Yeah.
3 lost. He's fumbled 5 times, lost 3 of them, thrown 6 picks. He's got
6 picks or 5 picks.
Maybe it's 5. So maybe it's 8 turnovers. I have to look exactly. But the point is, like, you just can't. You're not winning a game as a 6-point underdog, losing the turnover battle. You need the defense to get a couple. You need Rattler to hang on to the ball. That if you could limit his turnovers, right? Like, you could see where he's an effective NFL quarterback. He just hasn't shown that he can do that yet. Preseason as well. He's turnover a game, and just can't have that from your QB. So
Yeah, negative plays in general. The sacks too were a problem last year.
yeah, just needs to get rid of the ball. Needs to hold on to the ball. Those were opposites, but you know what I meant. He needs to get rid of the ball when the time calls for it, and when he does get sacked, hang on to the ball.
Yeah.
All right. Saints-Cardinals prediction time on the Saints Insider podcast. Leave your pick in the comments below. We're going to start with Jeff Duncan, who is not here. And since everyone in the comments is always accusing this of being a pessimistic podcast, we're punching back, baby. The underdog Saints, according to our Jeff Duncan, get it done 20-19. Season opening winning streak goes to 7.
You're telling me Jeff Duncan picked the Saints to win by 1 point? Where have I heard that story before?
And Jeff, by the way,
Wasn't it 17-16 last year? Was
He's
his famous?
such
he
a
was
troll.
like 5-12 last year in his picks too. He just kept picking the Saints, but he may not be the only one who's an optimist. Rod,
I did pick the Saints. I may not pick them again for like another month.
This is
so I
hilarious.
said, okay, this is my chance to get it in
and your
right
score was
17-16. I didn't even think about that when you said, "Oh, that's what I picked." But it's not really anything behind it. I'm just feeling like the atmosphere is going to be, pretty good, and I just think the fans going to get into it, and maybe the defense can get a score early or something to kind of get things going, and the Saints can kind of play a little bit more conservative at that point. And I don't know. I'm just. It's not the smartest pick, but I did go 15-2
you were
last year.
15-2 last year,
So I
we
figure
gotta listen to you.
I catch up with y'all if I blow this one. So
I was 12-5 last year, and I actually thought about picking the Saints as well. I'm just a little concerned. The injuries are already mounting. The loss of Chase Young is big to me. I have 24-19 Cardinals. I think the Saints keep it close. I think they cover the spread. I just ultimately, when it comes down to it, if you need points out of this out of a late drive with your rookie quarterback, Arizona, not a rookie quarterback, a young quarterback, Arizona turning up the heat, that sort of thing, I just don't think they'll get it done quite at the end. 24-19 Arizona for me.
I also did not pick the Saints. I would love to be in a spot where I'm picking the Saints every week because that means they're really, really, really good and a lot of fun to cover. I like the direction Kellen Moore is taking the team. I think he's a really, really smart coach. I think he's going to raise the floor for the team. I really like Brandon Staley. I like some of the roster moves. They're just not there yet. At least that's what I think going into week 1. It'd be nice to be pleasantly surprised by this team this year. But I don't think they have a lot of answers on offense right now. I like what they've done on defense throughout camp. I think they'll have a nice game against Arizona. But I'm taking Arizona. I think it was 20-16.
20-16.
So low scoring game. A couple big plays by the defense, just not enough firepower on offense.
I'm going to apologize in advance because I do these graphics and I just copy pasted the score and didn't change it. So Matt, I have the same score for you, which is not the case. You did pick Arizona, but what was your score?
26-17, which is the same score that Jonathan Gannon last week Kellen Moore by. I just, the Saints obviously don't have Dak Prescott at quarterback. To me, this is a game that I think the Saints are going to be able to move the ball a little bit, but I just think they're going to stall out one too many times. So if we want to really break down prediction, I think the 17 is going to come from 3 Blake Groupie field goals, 9, and then a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
I love specific predictions, man.
To get you
They're
17.
my favorite. Anybody else got anything specific they want to predict?
I've called a couple
have?
things, but I'm not feeling anything right now.
I had 4 Blake Groupie field goals in my 19 for the record. So
I'm gonna call the defensive touchdown. That's gonna be mine.
a Saints defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it.
By who? You got to really call your shot here.
Oh, man.
Because if you get this right, I'm gonna screen grab it and share it.
I'm going
from
to
top of the mountain.
go Justin Reed.
All right. You said Pete Werner under your breath for the record.
Well, he's due for one, man. That's
I was thinking Alante myself, but I'm
glad I didn't say it this time.
All right. Those are our predictions. Norm, thumbs up or thumbs down? You got the Saints winning Sunday? He's saying Saints, so we're 3 versus 3 here. We'll see what happens. We will have a post-game show for you after the game from the Dome on these same channels on Sunday afternoon. Until then, thank you for watching the Saints Insider. For our producer, Norman Bell, Rod Walker, Luke Johnson, Matthew Paris, and I'm Zach Ewing. See you next time.